My name is Catherine Fischer, and I do Therapeutic and Educational TTRPG in Germany. I hope you can see my screen now. I can get no feedback, so I just hope the recording is okay. And yeah, this is my topic. This is me. I'm a high school and elementary school teacher. And my subjects are German language and literature, and biology and physics. And I am at the moment working with therapists. I'm not at school anymore. I'm working together with occupational therapists. And other things I did during the last years are activating games and dancing for children and adults. And I've been playing TTRPG since over 20 years now. And I also did a bit of online teaching and therapy. So about my background, the background of EduTale. EduTale is the little company I founded in 2020. And I did the conceptual work since 2019. And my first practical work started in February, or a difficult word, 2020. The company is located in Witzhelden, which is Witty Heroes, if you want to translate it into English. And that's just a small village near Cologne in Germany. You see it here on the map. And that's where I live. About EduTale, it's a little company with that makes game management, game development, and application consulting. And I do this as method for school, for occupational therapy, and for team building in companies. And I just go forward. TTRPG in Germany, it's a nerd's world, just even more than in America. I think it's a niche. And during a long period, D&D did not have the largest market share. I think it still does not, or it's changing a bit. We in Germany, we had a lot of DSR. It's the Dark Eye, it's the name of this traditional high fantasy TTRPG. And this was #1 for a long time. And today, many new TTRPG players learn to know the TTRPG from media, and it's mostly about D&D. So it's a bit a growing sector, but it's still a niche. The TTRPG landscape in Germany is mostly applied in the hobby and gaming sector. It's no surprise. And some school projects are run by enthusiastic teachers. And there are some after-school projects. Integration of TTRPG during classes are rare experiments. I got some examples for this, but it's really, only a few. And there are also a few social projects during holidays and after-school projects, not run by teachers, but by social workers and political educators like the Waldritter e.V. There's a very limited use in therapy until now, and I think EduTale is the only professional one. Maybe there are others, but I still did not find them. There's somebody on Facebook who does a bit TTRPG, but he says it's more hobby like what he's doing. Okay. Thank you. TTRPG, we've got a problem. I just have to close the door again with the terminology, because in English it's just a role-playing game, what the term mostly used, and in German you can't really translate it, because play and game, it's the same word, it's Spiel in Deutsch. So you can make role play or role game. When you say Rollenspiel, what it would be the translation, and you only get one of these Spiels. And so you never get the whole word. And also the term Rollenspiel is associated with sexual behavior and fetish. So when you say I do Rollenspiel, it's not so easy to come far with this. Then you can say storytelling game. It would be in German Erzählspiel. But not all TTRPG are really storytelling games, and also it's not really, there are not many people who know this term. Then you could say pen and paper or tabletop, but there's no translation for this. So far, nobody knows this terms. So only people from the niche really could know what you are talking about. If you go to teachers or therapists, they don't know what you want to do. So we got a lot of different terms, and we always got discussions about what to use and which term to, when we are talking to whom. And it's really hard to push a subject into public without a clear name you can use. So most of the time you just said, yes, I do something like D&D in a way, or I can't say it in a better way. Yeah, benefits of TTRPG. That's enough about Germany now. But theory, you maybe already know this, but I thought I make some sheets, pretty sheets. And here it's about the benefits of TTRPG, which you already know. The experience of the story is usually has a motivating effect on the players and can be used for sustainable learning. And that TTRPG are inclusive if you use them in the right way. They are cooperative and they can be used in a variety of ways, which I will show later. Yeah, the first thing is motivation and learning. People like stories, or most people, I think, you especially, and the stories keep the players concentrated and focused. By being part of the story as the player characters, the players become involved. And learning is taking place on a level of experience, and therefore is more sustainable because they don't just read something or talk about it, they are doing it. Even if they are just talking about it, but it's playing talk. And so you can do something like behavioral training, which is effective. Yeah, inclusion. Peoples with handicaps can play the same characters as players without handicaps, and the other way around, and changes of perspective in any direction are possible. So you can do things you can't do in real life. Okay, you can do magic, but maybe you can just walk around or climb a tree, and you can't do it maybe in your real life. And there have been tools invented to develop and been developed for players with disabilities. For example, these braille dice for blind people, and those here's a part of a character sheet with icons. If you can't read good, you can see the icon, and they are also in colors to better find the different things. And it's German. Maybe you know what's written. Maybe you can just think what it is, imagine what it is by seeing the icon. I think it's a great help. And we got a book. It's called Role Inclusive, with some chapters about how you make your role-playing game more inclusive for people with disabilities, people from other cultures and other backgrounds. And this was a book which was, I think, last year from the Vögte, mostly. So benefits of TTRPG, it's also cooperation. You can tell and experience a story together and accomplish an adventure together. And the experience is not just reading a book and talk about it, you're really in the game, you're in the adventure. You have also fun together, you all know this. And coping with tasks cooperatively and supporting each other with different skills is also something the players can learn to cooperate and help and support. The limits of the game are set by the goals you want to achieve and by the requirements you've got and the skills and needs of the group. So you have to think about all these points if you want to make a role-playing game, and the group should feel comfortable in the game. And during the last years, there were invented various tools for this, like the X cards and lines and veils and so on. You can have a session 0 and discuss what do we want to play, what can't we do, what are we okay with. You can do this by just talking, or you can write it down so it's a bit anonymous if somebody doesn't want to talk about it. There are many ways. So language and communication is also a benefit, because when we are playing, we are talking all the time and we're communicating all the time. And that's a thing many people have got to learn. And so the magic of the game is, you know it, what you say happens. So if you don't talk and if you don't participate, nothing happens. But if you talk, anything can happen, and that's does really push them to be active in the game. So players talk and listen in order to participate. And some players who find it easy serve as role models for others. And if you got really players who got problems to talk, you can give them small reading texts or formulation aids or a mini lexicon on the character sheet. Often there are verbs you can use. You can say what your character does just by looking on the sheet. And ritualization is often helpful too. So I got an overview for you for TTRPG in different sectors, what you can learn and what you can train with it. And one sector is the school, the other is the occupational therapy, and the last year is the company. And most things you train are the same because they are in the game. And that's social competence, cooperation skills, communication, and motivation, and also sustainable learning. What is special between the different examples is that you can, at school, you can also use TTRPG to train media literacy, and in occupation and subject content, as well as in companies. If you got some special subject content, you can put it into the game as part of the game. It has to make sense in the game, otherwise it's not really funny, but you can do this. And in occupational therapy, we often do some tasks that are good for concentration and reaction and impulse control. Reaction and impulse control also is part of the talking and the communication, but you can also make mini games which train this also. Okay, there are diverse areas of application you can use, and I think there's a dual option. You can use them adaptively by taking an existing game and then try to adjust it to your goals and to what you need, or you can just make an innovative new game and a customized game for your purpose. And I got here some examples for games I use. And here's the Abenteuer im Märchenwald, a game I designed for German language classes. Areas of application at school. Yeah, you can make the game age appropriate. The games are adaptable for all age groups, but you have to make them that way. Yes? Sometimes if you just take a D&D or a DSA, there's adult stuff in it, and you have to change this sometimes. And some rules are too complex. What you don't need, you just throw it away and make it easier. And yeah, language and communication are always in the center of the game. We always train this while playing. Got a thematic adaptability. You can put special needs and interests and topics into the games, so make them fit to your group. And you can use the setting as a motivating framework for subject matter, or you can use the setting itself as learning material, for example, by playing in a certain era or in a future world. I got some examples which you can use at school, like you could use here the fairy tale world, the Märchenwald for German language. You can use a prehistoric setting for history or biology. You can go to the Forum Romanum for Latin language or history or politics, or you can go to space for physics and technology, or maybe you go also to the future. Yeah, an example for a German lesson, how you could do this. And you can just play the game like I did this Märchenwald game, the fairy tale world. You play in this world and you let your pupils or your students make a game diary, or after they played it, they have to write an adventure story. This works. I tried it. It works. You can integrate tasks and content into the story, like they have to read different difficult texts, or they have to write something down, a letter by the, for example, to an NPC or to another player character, or they have to translate a secret language and whatever you can think about. You also can let them analyze characteristics and behavior of characters in the game, and yeah, like I do it based on the German school quality system. It's the curriculum, and you got your own systems. I think you just have to look into it, and I think you just have to read through it, and you find so many things you just have when you play such a game. Here is my example for the German language lesson game, Abenteuer im Märchenwald. You see the screen and the material. Here's a language they have to translate. The secret language is just Windings, I think. And there's the name of Schneewittchen is given, and they have to find all the other letters to translate it. And they play the Bremer Stadtmusikanten, the musicians of the city of Bremen. It's a traditional fairy tale we got in Germany. Everybody here knows it. And you play a dog, cat, a rooster is the name, yeah, rooster, and a donkey. And they are all old animals. And they're cool because they, in the fairy tale, they fight evil humans, and they fight for themselves as a group. And they are cool because they're a band. They just make crazy sounds, but they're cool. You can play them in the game. Yeah. Okay, next thing through with school. Here's the occupational therapy and areas of application. You can train social cooperative skills. You can train communication in the group. and concentration on longer content, story, and adaptable mini games. Concentration on longer content really does work really good. I'll show you later. And you can train reaction and impulse control in the game and in communications. And also you can have motivation by team experience, by exciting incidents happening in the story, and by just playing this character you like to play. Here is it's okay. Here you can see where I work. Yes, here are the children on the table playing. Here are materials. We are playing No Thank You Evil and the Tales of Equestria game. And here's my rainbow, my rewarding rainbow when they are participating in a good way, which is with some children sometimes a bit difficult. They can climb up the rainbow and they get a bonus on their dice. Here you can see my own statistics and experiences. I had a group. There are 4 groups, but the results you see are for all these 4 groups, with all together 17 children here in this statistic, and you can see the growth from session 0 to session 1 to session 11, I think. And you see that all the factors are focused on concentration, length of concentration, impulse control, tactical behavior, cooperation, communication, frustration. Yeah, it's not capability, it's frustration. Frustration. Yeah, they're not that fast frustrated. I think you know what I mean. And motivation, and that's how this was going on. And here you can see this is the blue. What is it? I think is the session 2. Because I didn't took the first session because the children they're always not themselves. I took the second, and that's the 11th, and you can see how this is growing, and some are more growing than others. Here's the here this is maybe not significant, I think, but here, as you can see, length of concentration is really in a good way, just like here the communication and cooperation skills are going really, really up. I got 3 individual cases I wanted to show you. The case, no, I only got 2. I had 3, but I thought it was too much. Maybe if there's time in the end, I can show you the 3rd. This is case 1. It's a 12-year-old girl. She came to therapy because she was really quiet at school with low self-confidence and low concentration span. And during the time she was in these groups, she gained initiative for the game, great overview for the story and PCs and NPCs. She always knew who could do what and what was going on. And she was actively formulating suggestions and telling other players their options when they did not know what they could do, and was acting with determination. And that's really good progress she did. The other example is a 9-year-old boy who got problems problems with social interactions and aggressive behavior. And as I saw him in the groups, he was cooperating with the other players. He shared great ideas for the story and gained self-esteem. And he's attentive to the needs of the other players and really caring, because he wants to make a really good game with them and he wants to enjoy the time. And you see that he's really doing all he can to make this possible for the others too. And he got great feedback when he did lead the game, because the other players enjoyed it. Oh, I wrote it in capital because in Germany you write it like this. Okay. Then what are my plans with the occupational therapy? I have a workshop next week, and the week after this with occupational therapists. I'm not an occupational therapist, as you know myself. I am a teacher and I'm working together with occupational therapists, but they are not the geeks. And so they hired me to do this. And but they are always looking at what I'm doing, and they are giving me the children who are who they think could be fitting for those groups. And in this workshop I'm doing, there are participants from Germany and from Belgium who already know TTRPG, but some know and some do not know, but they're all therapists and they want to learn to know how to use TTRPG for therapy. Nobody of them does do this until now, but some know TTRPGs but never tried it for therapy. And some of the therapists have young, some have elderly clients, and I'm going to make an introduction into TTRPG, playing with the participants and discussing the game we play, and discussing the method, and yeah, giving them the opportunity to test it in their groups. And my long-term targets are to enable and motivate therapists to use the method of TTRPG, and to bring therapists together for exchange in Germany, and to make TTRPG accessible outside the niche, because that's one thing I really learned by doing these groups in occupational therapy. There are children coming to these groups, not only white children, not only privileged, children with privilege. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. I got many immigrant children, and they would not learn what TTRPG is, and they got the opportunity in this groups, and they like it like the others also do. But we see sometimes that the TTRPGs like Beyond the Wall and those which play in medieval Europe are not fit for them, because they can't identify with the characters that are given. And we often change things. We often change what the town is like, what there is to eat. They can all say what they want to find there, and so we make a more less German version of the thing, less European version. And I also heard that you also have in your TTRPGs, it's also a medieval Europe thing, I think, what you mostly play, and you also eat potatoes, so it doesn't matter, do what you want and what your players just want to do. Yeah. This is my last part. It's about elderly people. This is the overview I showed in a few slides ago. And here I just thought about, okay, you got things you train. Why do you only train this with people at school and companies? And in occupational therapy, there are actually a lot of elderly people, and there are occupational therapists who just work with elderly people and adults and really old people. And some of the occupational therapists who come to me to learn the method also work with elderly people. So I thought about what should a game be like, or how does this make sense to use TTRPG for this group? And I saw that when you look at occupational therapy, there are these 3 points that are all about social interaction with which is really important for some of the elderly people, and concentration also, and the motivation. And I took these points, and I thought, okay, I thought I had another thing here, but I shortened it because I thought somebody would be here to talk to later. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I go back. Yeah, these are things you could train also on elderly people. I think this makes sense. And when you look at elderly people, you see they're not all the same. You get different groups, and I found 4 groups and made 2 out of it, because you got private people who maybe want to learn this method. You got community meetings where there are people playing games, but not TTRPG games. And those 2 groups are people who want entertainment and maybe a bit prevention for concentration, and so they stay fit. And no, you don't say it. It's a false friend again. That they can use concentration in a high age also. And you got residents of retirement homes and geriatrics, and also patients of occupational therapists, which can be the same, also the residents, but they don't have to be. They also could live at home still. And those are people who need a therapy. And you have to consider that for those 2 groups, you got different goals, and you got different external conditions. If you go to a resident with geriatrics, you have to work really together with the staff there. It's sometimes hard to organize to get the people to the seat at the right time. And you also have to think about the external conditions and the player's needs, which are not always the therapy goals. And this is the project I'm working at the moment, but it's not going that fast because I can't meet a lot of elderly people at the moment because of, but I tried a bit about a character sheet, which I designed really open to give it to different groups of people, just to look what they choose, what they want to play, make it open, and then create something out of it. You have to, of course, use bigger writing, and the sheet, the letters must not be too small. You also could use bigger dice. That are all possibilities you have. Yeah, and some things I tried a bit special for Germany. I think it's not so important here. I think I'm at the end of the story. Yes, that's it. I wanted to talk about you if you got questions or other topics I could use for elderly people, or what if you got experiences in this direction, or what ideas you have. So I really hurried through this because I thought if I got questions, I need more time, but there's nobody telling me questions. So I'm through with it a bit early. Yeah. Maybe I look here's the case it's case 3 actually now. There's still case 2. There was also a boy. I'm just telling this because I still got time, who also had problems with social interactions, and he rejected tasks and run out of class to avoid them. And in the groups, he is really useful for the others, and uses his overview to help the other players. And so he gained a lot of self-esteem and is cooperating in and out game. And because he stays involved, he works on all the tasks with determination. It's no problem at all. And yeah, sometimes the parents just can't believe that it's no problem, that they just can let the child stay, and it's everything is okay. I think they ran out, but it's not an issue. Yeah, I think I'm not. Yeah, I think I'm done. I could show you some beautiful pictures from Germany where I live, but I think it's enough. Here's where I live. We got a lot of castles and a lot of fairy tales. And yeah, that's also something maybe which made me go in this direction as storyteller or what. Maybe if you get questions, I think I think some things may be not clear because of my English, or because I didn't think what questions you could have. Just call me. You can reach me via Twitter at katrinfischer18 or with my email webmaster@edutale.de. I write it here. Maybe I don't know if you can see it when I write it here. It's webmaster@edutale.de. Yeah, that's it. And you also can find me in the Discord server and contact me if you got questions, but I think it will be later. I don't know if this still exists. Okay, have a nice day. Bye.